Hi, I'm Seungah, an artist teacher working at a secondary school in the UK. Based on my experience, I made Young Artist Art and Education project, No Frame.
I'm not sure if you knew this, but I had planned at the end of the project to come out to my family, and I didn't. And obviously, I knew it wasn't going to be a bother. I knew there was nothing going to be wrong with it. That would be hypocritical if they had a problem with it. But it's still just as difficult, and you're revealing something about yourself that you have the choice to keep quiet and be unhappy or not live authentically, but also to be really open about with them. It's got to be when you're really comfortable and happy about it. Obviously, it's a big thing having four parents coming from a gay family. I was very, very open about my parents and having four parents and coming from a queer family. Once you get it out, once you say these things, they've got no ammunition. They've got nothing to use against you if you're just open and out with it. And it's just normal, because it is normal to me. Thinking about coming out of the closet, it was all about that sort of fear, the kind of moment that comes beforehand, the sort of uncertainty of what might what the reaction might be. It was sort of stuff that I was feeling myself, but I was kind of almost projecting it as if I was doing it, but through my parents' experiences. He had chosen the light bulb as this symbolic image. I really wanted to look at why he'd chosen that, and if I needed or wanted a symbolic image to kind of use to really show what I was trying to come across, light in the darkness, but also kind of the image or the symbol of a light bulb, that light bulb moment of realizing that you are different, or from other people, or as a way of focusing that. Finding queer artists who are creating artworks about these kind of subjects. I mean, Robert Mapplethorpe was talking a lot about AIDS and that sort of subject matter, darkness and light, and that use of shadow within his pictures. And they're beautiful pictures. Didn't really know much about computers and editing and Photoshop and things like that, so I learned an awful lot.
And also this bandage is used as a symbolic image.
Sort of wrapping and constricting, and also bandages for healing as well. So it's kind of it's about healing, but also breaking out and being free, that kind of freedom of being out of a restrictive bandage. Talking about the moment of coming out through their experiences, but them recounting the stories and capturing many different moments, and then choosing the moments. It's really powerful looking back on them, because they are genuine stories and moments and feelings and passions that are being spoken about. Raw emotion is shown. It's really about an exploration of self and identity, and how they wanted to live. It was a real preparation for myself about what they'd been through and what I might expect. But it was kind of a protection for myself as well.
Having this kind of very sensitive, personal, and in a way fragile and also important conversation, how many people be able to talk about this between parents and son or daughter? Not many would do that.
It was all new to me, and it was really important for me to learn about that history, I felt very lucky to be able to have this shared with me.
Out of all stories, you choose your dad's story.
I think probably because it was the most like me. Within my dad's story, he was sort of talking about how he sat on the edge of his bed and my granddad spoke to him and they had that conversation, but it was almost as if those sort of sculptural pieces within that were sort of almost sort of ghostly figures of that experience, and as if I'm watching, sort of as if I'm there, seeing it happen. I think his experience was quite difficult to begin with. The feeling of being stuck, moving about, that sort of fear was what was going to happen in that coming out moment, writhing around in sort of not so much pain but flurry of emotion, and then overlaying that layers and layers of ghostly images of thoughts and feelings. And there are multiple versions of myself, either pushed down onto the bed, emotions being repressed or being let out, moving about and writhing.
And it was influenced by your dad's theatre work.
Yeah, looking at his work that he'd done and his own artwork that he'd created about various experiences and things that were important to him, incorporating it all together to tell that story. Looking at projection as a form of displaying it, frame with bandages wrapped across it, and they sort of distorted the image, sort of 3D layering, picking out little bits of the picture within the projection, again with the light and the projector and the shadow, leading back to the Robert Mapplethorpe. It all kind of culminates, comes together to this. That was the kind of starting point, really, of thinking about what kind of an artist do I want to be? What kind of work do I want to produce? What sort of topics do I want to talk about? What's really important to me? I'm never really sure how they were going to come across and be accepted.
You, Theo, as an A-level artist, with your circumstances and background and the way you are talking about this issue, having this opportunity for you is important, but also all the audience who will engage with your work, having that opportunity is important for us as an audience. Many students, I think, whether they express it or not, they kind of understood the atmosphere, inspired to be able to talk about the gender issues and topics. Some people, like for example, Lydia, she picked up what you're saying through your artwork, and then she was using you as an artist. So it was amazingly meaningful moment for me. Your younger years, your audience turning into an artist who's being empathetic and who hear that voice you just,
It does mean a lot knowing that the people who came after me felt that they were able to talk about those subjects. But also it speaks volumes about the environment that you yourself created. Making sure that it was a safe space to talk about those things and to explore those things, because they shouldn't be a big deal. It's just kind of people are who they are. They will fall in love with who they fall in love with. I've received the most amount of homophobic comments. I think it is about responsibility. Make that choice, be accepting of people who are different.